साथियों ने अभी लंच के दौरान ही आए हैं, तो उनसे तो ये माफी मांगी कि सुबह दो सत्र जो हुए हैं उसका जिस्ट भी देना बड़ा मुश्किल है। मगर एक सवाल इन अ सेंस जो दोनों को जोड़ता है वो मेरे मन में आ रहा था, मैंने सोचा वो रख के और बोला जाए इस सत्र को। We had the question of the situation in Manipur and the issue of the way the state is handling the situation, and two, the internal situation itself of the history and the complexities within Manipuri society itself, as well as the aspirations of Manipuri people as of any other group of people, and the issue of freedom to decide for themselves and create their own future. The second session was about ecological democracy and developing perspectives on that. And given the recent experience of societies and communities which have got independent identity in a sense, whether we take it states within India, whether it's Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh or Uttarakhand, they have got freedom in a sense from the larger units of which they were a part to decide their own fate, and what the results have not been what was expected in positive terms. They've shown us many more complexities of the politics of what is development to be and in whose favor is that development to be. Nepal, in the South Asian context, gave us so much hope in terms of the people's democracy that we saw on the ground, in terms of ouster of the royalty and the new politics that it created. And yet, one can see the, in a sense, stalemate that exists there, and the complexity of, again, trying to develop their own future. Which is not to say that society should not have the right to do that or the structures and political space to do that. But that while developing that process, we'd have to take on the complex issues of what is development to be, because what humankind learned in the last 200 years of what development is obviously something we are trying to move out of, and yet we don't have what do we move towards as the answers. So what is the politics of that process of finding answers to be seems to be where we are today. Where Deepthi also ended the morning session with saying we are still at the ABC of trying to understand, and the complexities are just too huge in terms of directions, but we do know something that must go, and yet what has to come, therefore has to be part of the local processes. But when we are deliberating here or being supportive to them, how do we further those inputs in and discussion on these long-term development issues as well, or issues of directions to be taken? Whether it is political structures, such as the constitution and the whole structures within Nepal, or in any other context where those questions arise, or of what the directions of development have to be, are central issues of politics today and across the world at one level. But the two sessions together showed this up very clearly, it can be articulated very starkly, and I'm doing it just for that purpose. Supposing Manipur was to be given liberation tomorrow, what is the path of development? What is it that they would move towards in terms of governance, in terms of developing systems of livelihood, of economics, of agriculture, of whatever else we have? One is to say leave it to them, and that's a fair answer. Eventually they are the ones who have to decide and who have to do these things. At another, we are all informing that process, and the outer larger world is informing that process, and therefore this two-way process of it becomes more and more complex. I'm just placing that complexity again in a way that I saw it, and opening up for everybody to come on this. I promised Manoj, his hand was there last and I had not... Pakki baat? Okay. Yeah, sure. Just one more comment. I'm to take this privilege of being chair on the last session. We had a longish thing about the need for humility in dialogue. I think that statement of humility in dialogue itself needs to be made with a bit of humility, and in a way that that we all see different perspectives with a little more openness, and in a way that others can continue to say what they want to say. So, with that opening, who would like to start off?
Ajay.
Yes, Ali.
But maybe somebody else wants to begin with.
My naam bol. Namaste.
Yeah, I'm Ajay Mahajan. This is for Yadna first. That I think that the paradigm, the way you're looking at this whole question of sustainable futures, what I find refreshing and meaningful and hopeful in it is that is the paradigm, is the way that you're putting, looking at the issue, yeah, is the categories with which you're looking, and also certainly the lens or the glasses with which it's being viewed. And it is, I think, potentially very meaningful, and it has a lot of possibility to, when we're looking at it like overconsumptive classes, sustainable overconsumptive group, sustainable band, and then the struggling this thing, yeah. And because also it has so the basic overall paradigm I think has a lot of strength, yeah. And also because it, while as you are, one targets the overconsumptiveness of our own selves or of whoever it is, it still has possibility for change. It's not just, you're not just sort of eternally condemning or damning somebody, yeah? So I think if the sharpness remains and yet there is space for change and movement, I find that paradigm very interesting. But the couple of questions I have about it is that when we are looking at, and I was wondering, it may not be possible to do this in a quantified form, when we are determining what is overconsumptive, struggling, and sustainable and struggling, if we are largely following that, how much, that $7,000 a year kind of this thing, then a lot of what is non-monetized, a lot of, food grown for self-consumption. I come from a farming and an ecological background. So farmers, when they grow food for self-consumption, or when you're getting various kinds of things, food and other materials from the forest, like, in India we call it non-timber forest produce. It could be foods, there's a lot of wild foods, it could be medicines, it could be fodder for animals, it could be various other things, right? Implements, fuel wood. So I don't know if that comes in anywhere. So basically, so can one gradually look at trying to make the thing a little more sort of comprehensive? And then the element which I think was raised strongly by Vijayji of like Cuba, for example, comes out on the top in the Human Development Index, and one more thing, right? There was, and the dignity one, right? No, and the footprint, the ecological footprint, and the Human Development Index. Not on the happiness one. I think Gautam got that slightly wrong. On happiness, it's fourth or third or whatever. But with the democracy issue, now democracy is not, is not quantifiable. But maybe if we could also, and George Bush has unnecessarily given it, has whatever, but we can't, maybe he's bastardized democracy, but we can't let, just because some idiot has used it in the wrong way, we can't let go of, something as important as that. So, can we sort of, gradually move towards getting in certain other dimensions maybe into this? But I find the overall paradigm and the happiness index, I find all of that very, very deeply meaningful. So the question is there scope for making it a little more comprehensive, and how do we work on it? How do we take it further? Thank you.
Excuse me, मैं माफी चाहती हूँ, अगर ये हमारी कुछ साथ में महिलाएं आई हुई हैं, वो चाहती हैं कि हिंदी में अगर बोलें, तो वो भी सुनने में रुचि रखती हैं।
मैंने अंग्रेजी में इसलिए बोला था क्योंकि यादना को पूछ रहा था।
नहीं, मैं सबके लिए, आपके लिए नहीं खाली, आगे से अगर कहते हैं तो।
Ajay can give gist of what he said. Nobody can translate retrospectively such a scintillating poetry. Prose can be
But after
translated.
that, can somebody sit with them so that whenever it is in, हम लोग कोशिश करें कि हिंदी में बोले, मगर जहाँ अंग्रेजी में बोलना होगा, स्पेशली जब जानना है, तो कोई जना उनके साथ अगर बैठ के उस वक्त ट्रांसलेट कर दे, या जो यारना बोलेंगे वो तो ट्रांसलेट करना होगा, तो can somebody sit? Ajay, after you've translated your question, can you also just sit with them so that, yeah, so can you just briefly translate your question into Hindi?
There's no question. Comment.
Or maybe I answer you first and then you can.
Okay, then I can do it.
That's it, both, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm very happy that you liked our classifications and all, and it's good thing you brought up this class thing in the sense that yeah. Oh, what is me important in this classification is that I want to show that it is not the individual consumer that is responsible, and that's very. The people now usually in West and in Finland, they think that okay, that this individual consumption is what matters, your individual choices, but it is not so. So we want to strengthen this kind of this class thinking that also it's kind of determined. If you are born into an over-consuming class, it is you can't really by choice choose that. Oh no, I want to be in a sustainable class, because it is not an individual choice that you can make, but it is in the yeah, it is in the structures. So we need to change the structures and not our individual consuming styles. So that is not an answer to anything. Although, yeah, like many companies, and so they would like us to think that way. That okay, if we just buy the right items, then we are good consumers. But it's not that way. We have to change the whole structure. And the other thing is, yeah, that if you produce your own food and so on. Did I understand it right? Do you mean that if you kind of live self-sustaining life, then is it counted in this?
From what I understood,
Yeah.
the basic way of classifying, figuring out which societies or countries were, or individuals, families, or whatever
Yeah.
the categories are, is over-consuming, sustainable, or struggling. That particular slide seemed to suggest that it was based on how many dollars or dollar equivalents per year did you consume.
Yeah.
So that's one.
Yeah.
That's one way.
Yeah.
But I was wondering about the non-monetized things like growing food for yourself, like what you get from the forest, like or other natural resources,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
which is non-monetized, which is not counted in the normal economic paradigm.
Yeah.
So are we accounting for that?
Yeah.
And we may be putting a few more people in the struggling
Yeah.
who might actually be sustainable for all. I mean, I'm just wondering. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they partly go hand in hand, but we also noticed that the people that we would think that are very poor, like too poor in the struggling class, that their income is $1.5 a day, but they are actually they lead sustainable life, that they have everything they need, but because they produce their own food and they don't need much, that they are actually in the sustainable class. So it's not really that you can't really make the classification like clearly, but yeah. What do you say, Marco? You want to comment on this?
If I can take the liberty of it.
yeah.
One is the economic classes, but the other is struggling in terms of worldviews, in terms of knowledge systems and lifestyles and so on.
Yeah.
Where a large part of our agriculturists is today struggling in that sense in any case, whether they're
Yeah.
able to garner their economic base, but not the worldview and the lifestyle. So struggling, what the quantification as it is done here is in economic terms. But it also has a direct connotation also with, not as a one-to-one, with knowledge systems and worldviews. And there, a lot of the ones who would economically fall into the sustainable would be in the struggling today.
But I
In terms of the dominance and the possibility of continuing in that lifestyle of dominance of worldviews and knowledge systems.
True.
So,
But some of the some of the sustainable. So what she's saying is that some of the sustainable ones could be struggling in other ways, like culturally, politically, socially.
If
But,
you look at only the money.
Yeah, but in the classification, we are currently only looking at the monetized economic one. So it will give us a clear idea of the overconsumptive ones.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering about the struggling and the sustainable ones. And I'm wondering if some of the ones we have in struggling, who in terms of monetary terms, monetized economy, earn little, but may actually be sustainable. But they may be struggling in a social, cultural, and they may be under a lot of pressure from the structure and system.
But see, here we have to raise this human dignity question. That if you are living kind of a dignified life, you are empowered, then you might be in the sustainable class rather than struggling class.
But your classification currently only follows the economic monetized one. Currently, is that so or it's not so? Currently, But I was thinking maybe we could make it more developed.
We can do that. So thank you.
yes, I
I think okay, you can hear me. I think this question is also very important from the gender perspective, because what you are sort of excluding is all the unpaid work. I mean, whatever you had on that side with the informal economy, the gift economy, and those works that you have done out of love and not. So when he's raising that issue, and I have read your book and I was aware of some of the things, but when he raised this issue, it became clear to me that it's a very important thing, but I think I'm missing then in your analysis. Because you are again going the traditional dominant way. You are defining your classes according to this monetized economy. And you are sort of, even though there is a lot of gender sensitivity, please explain if I'm wrong, but if you're not taking this part of the economy, the invisible economy, the invisible work and the unpaid work and all that in your classification, then you are sort of not being gender sensitive. If I may just put it provocatively like that. Is it true?
Well, actually, we started this classification from these two principles: this human dignity principle and the ecological sustainability principle. So didn't we, Marco, that we started from that, and then we kind of this monetary classification supported it. I can't go back, but I think this, but I think these two principles are they're more strong. It's just this monetary angle. We found that it supports it after all.
Isn't it lower middle class? They have both things.
माइक में थोड़ा रमिका जी रिपीट कर दे हम लोग आपका कमेंट
ये लोअर मिडिल क्लास जिसे कहते हैं उसके नजदीक नहीं है
कौन से वाला सस्टेनेबल
सस्टेनेबल उसमें कुछ आत्मसम्मान भी है कुछ इकोनॉमिक भी है दोनों में वो गुना रहता है वो एकदम इकोनॉमिक नहीं बन जाता है बिजनेस नहीं बन जाता है
I think if there are any more questions on this, otherwise, this is clearly an issue where you've used data and that's available, done by others in a certain framework, and it's giving a certain frame of giving the three classes in terms of consumption, and therefore addresses a certain kind of debate. More in the Western, this would be important to address, say, the Finnish audience, which is you're trying to address and make the case for. How do you see the debate between the developed and the developing countries that came up in Copenhagen, for example? It also comes to something like India-China situations where you're talking about the upper classes of our society being part of the over-consuming as well. So these two issues get addressed through this classification. Then when we're looking for what alternatives are there, then you have to make it much more nuanced and then develop your own categories, taking this other understanding into account. which is then another step in the work that needs to be done. Somewhere you indicated that when you say that the answers come from indigenous societies and their worldview. But then how do we knit that into quantifiable things? If we have to continue also making this debate with an audience which is not us, but which thinks in quantified terms only. And therefore for policy kind of debate, do we want to take it on? And those are the kind of further, that's what I'm hearing in sensing. Anybody else on that? Anything? Any questions?
Just that,
yeah, please.
Actually, just one small little thing, addition that further on in your presentation, some of these dimensions do get spelled out. When you start talking of dignity and of those various ways, when you talk of transformation, when you start talking of cultural transformation, when you talk of human dignity, you talk of democratization, you talk of various other things and empowerment of the struggling ones and the sustainable ones. So it does get spelled out there. I was just wondering about the initial categories. Yeah. And as Ritu saying, I think it's very effective for engaging the overconsumptive classes wherever they are, in India or and in the developed world.
Yeah.
So if I may, so one set of sort of discourse where we have been trying to say our thing is this, like, who is causing the environmental destruction. I think Indira Gandhi has been quoted from 1972 when there was the first UN conference on environmental development, that the poverty is the main cause for environmental destruction. And in 1992, when the Rio summit was there, the World Bank made their annual report. They introduced this environmental Kuznets curve, arguing that the poor are destroying. No, how does it go? Yeah, no, the poor don't destroy much, but then as they become rich, they start destroying. Yeah. But then when they become more rich, then they stop destroying. So if you look at the water pollution, okay, the Finns, they don't pollute the water, they're cleaned up. So that was the argument. So what we are saying is that the richer individuals or societies become the bigger pressure it extends on the environment. So, and then, like Ritu correctly said, so whatever data was there, so we found one PhD that this Bentley had calculated, okay, 7,000 is where consumption or consumer culture begins, and then these are the figures for the world. But before that, I think we've been saying repeatedly in our text that these things, environmental sustainability and human dignity, they can't be measured and quantified. But if you want to be part of the debates, then you have to bring in some numbers. So this kind of
that is what will be asked.
So this kind of self-contradiction we have done. But I think what we have, the kind of outcome from our figures is one that often we say, like we beg that humanity is destroying, is exceeding the capacity. But then if we look at in the class perspective, then we see that actually it's a minority, the 2 million consumers, which is responsible for 80% of the destruction. So in a way, brings some clarity in that, and then also source of optimism that we can have like 3 billion people who are not contributing to the environmental destruction and who still lead dignified lives. So I think these are the main things. And then for, like now we're writing a book in Finnish, and we can't start by saying that 98% of Finns are our consumers, and our class war has to be fought against 98% of the Finns. So we bring another category of like all are consumers, but then some are more consumers. So over consumers we just call maybe half of our fellow citizens.
Yeah, thanks, Marco. Basically what we wanted to assure, like the Finnish reader of what, because there's many people are saying that okay, it is the poor people who are destroying the environment because they are too poor, so they just use too much land and so on. So yeah, that's what we wanted to show, is that no, it is really the rich people who consume too much, and that consumption is destroying the environment. But it is very useful to get comments on this struggling and sustainable classes as well, so we can then continue on refining that one.
Government policies also destroys,
Pardon?
the policies of the government also destroys this environment and animals. It's not the poor people.
Yeah, yeah,
They
it's not-
save it rather.
क्योंकि समय हो गया है इसलिए आप अध्यक्षीय भाषण की बजाय हिंदी में जिस्ट बता दीजिए बातचीत का, ये शब्द खत्म करने से पहले, फिर अगला शब्द शुरू करेंगे। आप ही जिस्ट बता अजीत सॉरी अजय ने लिखा हो तो बता सकते हैं तो बता।
अगर आई थिंक आई वुड ट्रस्ट यू मोर टू डू द मेरे को आसान नहीं लग रहा था कि खासकर जो बिकॉज मैं डिबेट में खुद इन्वॉल्व था, अगर आप कर सकती हैं और अगर आप उसके साथ अपने अगर कुछ कमेंट्स है वो भी वीव इन करना
नहीं, अब और comments नहीं करेंगे।
अच्छा और नहीं
We have to close the session, then I think we will end here because it's already past 3 ना, फिर बाकी का भी हो जाएगा।
I could try.
But please, why don't you?
अपना नाम बोल के करिएगा।
इसको ऑन कैसे करते हैं?
तो मोटा सा बैंड है ना ग्रे वाला, उसको दबा दो।
हरलीन सिद्धू हक सेंटर फॉर चाइल्ड राइट्स से हैं। शुरुआत में इन्होंने एक प्रश्न पूछा अजय महाजन जी ने। बेसिकली प्रश्न का जिस्ट ये था कि अभी जो कैटेगरीज हैं, कैटेगरी सिर्फ मॉनेटरी टर्म्स को लेके रखी गई हैं। मेन आपका ये था, आपका कंसर्न ये था कि हाँ, तो उसका उत्तर दिया गया कि इस वक्त मॉनेटरी टर्म्स में रखी गई हैं क्योंकि बेसिकली अभी तक जो रिसर्च किया गया है वो किसी और की डेटा को लेकर किया गया है और किसी एक स्पेसिफिक टारगेट के लिए किया गया है। आगे अगर हमें बढ़ना है तो हमें इसको अपने हिसाब से बाकी की चीजें जो हमें इंक्लूड करनी है, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल एक और यहाँ से कमेंट आया था कि जेंडर जो अनपेड वर्क है, जहाँ पे जैसे औरतें जो घर पे काम करती हैं वो भी इंक्लूड नहीं किया गया है। तो ये सब चीजें जो हैं उसको हमें और विस्तार से देखना पड़ेगा और अल्टीमेटली इंक्लूड करना पड़ेगा। यहाँ पे एक और कमेंट आया था कि अभी ये जो दो यहाँ पे प्रवक्ता हैं ये एक बुक लिख रहे हैं, वो फिनिश लोगों के लिए लिख रहे हैं और वो उनको ये बताना चाहते हैं, ये जो फिनलैंड के लोग हैं उनको बताना चाहते हैं कि एक धारणा है समाज में कि जो लोगों के पास पैसा नहीं है वो हमारे पर्यावरण को ज्यादा नष्ट कर रहे हैं। तो ये बताना चाहते हैं कि ऐसा नहीं है। एक्चुअली ये रिसर्च से प्रूवन है कि जब आपके पास ज्यादा पैसा आता है तो आप पर्यावरण को ज्यादा नष्ट करते हैं और जो कम पैसे वाले लोग हैं वो नष्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो अभी ये उस चीज के ऊपर एक किताब लिख रहे हैं। तो ये एक और चीज है। और उसके बाद मिस जामा पासनन ने इस डिस्कशन को बंद किया ये बोल के कि ये चीज ये बताना चाहते हैं, लेकिन ये जो कमेंट दिए गए हैं कैटेगरीज के बारे में वो अच्छे कमेंट हैं और उसके ऊपर वो अपना रिसर्च करते वक्त ध्यान रखेंगे। इसके अलावा इफ आई मिस्ड आउट एनीथिंग।
तो इस सेशन को यहाँ क्लोज करते हुए कि ये एक मुद्दा है जो सैनिक के लिए और हम सब के लिए मेरे ख्याल में डिस्कशन इस पे चलते ही रहने वाला है। जो मार्को और यारना का एक पुस्तिका छोटी होगी जो इसमें जो आर्टिकल है उनका उस पर और बिल्ड करते हुए है, उसका सिर्फ मैं लास्ट पैराग्राफ पढ़ के खत्म करना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि मेरे जैसे को कम से कम कई बार बहुत हताशा जैसी लगती है जब इन मुद्दों पे सोचते हैं, क्योंकि तो इतने कॉम्प्लेक्स हैं और हम सब लोग उसमें ऐसे जिंदगी जी रहे हैं कि चाहे वो जो ओवर कंज्यूमिंग है वो तो ओवर कंज्यूमिंग है, मगर जो सस्टेनेबल जिसको कहा गया है वो उसी तरफ देख रहे हैं और उसी वही एस्पिरेशन है उनका। तो हम लोग चाहते सब यही है कि सस्टेनेबल ओवर कंज्यूमिंग बन जाए और जो स्ट्रगलिंग है वो भी स्ट्रगल उसी के लिए कर रहा है कि वो उसका हिस्सा कैसे बने। इस सब से देख के लगता है फिर कि एक्चुअली स्ट्रगल कहाँ है और पॉलिटिक्स कहाँ से खड़ी होगी। इसके लिए मुझे जो आखिरी पैराग्राफ है इनकी इस पुस्तिका में वो लगा कि उससे कुछ कम से कम एक उम्मीद की स्वर से छोड़ा जा सकता है इस मुद्दे को और सेशन को, इसलिए मैं बस वो पढ़ देती हूँ, आप लोगों के पास है. We should see transformation towards sustainable cultures as an adventure leading to something clearly better than what we have now. This is again, I can see from them they are addressing the Finnish audience, but I think it's for us as well. There is no need to feel fearful or worried. Embracing degrowth should be the most empowering experience by giving up unnecessary but environmentally and socially costly luxuries. One can discover much more valuable things in life, and lending support to and calling for political and structural transformations towards sustainability will be saluted by the world majority and future generations. There are plenty of rewards in waiting on the sustainable futures.